पुराने जमाने की भर्ती थी काला मसाला तुलसी है इसमें तो उसमें गोली मार के भर जाता हुआ दूसरा नहीं तो ऊपर किला बनना देना दलाम बड़ी बंदी को बोलना कहाँ जाता है वो दिल्ली चलाते हैं बता रहे हैं फोटो मिलो फोटो मिलो अरे देखिए तो फोटो क्या इसमें आपको तो मैं देखूँगा अपनी मेमोरी में रखूँगा फोटो में लगा रहा हूँ अब बंदूक चल जाएगी बताऊँगा आप लोग उसके नाक पे वाला मुझको फांसी वगैरह को तो पगुला चला
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Edinburgh Castle. Welcome to the 17th century. The soldiers around you, in front of you, are Scots soldiers of the middle of the 17th century. And in 1640, there was a long siege of the castle. And the men inside the castle would look very like the soldiers here. Musketeers, pikemen, and a gun crew. The men outside the castle would have looked very similar. There were no uniforms at this point, and both sides were wearing the same coat colours. But these are Scots soldiers, and you can tell that from the blue bonnets on their heads, the hodden grey, undyed wool coats. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Wee Meg. All the cannons in the 17th century were given names, and that's Wee Meg. The muskets and the cannon are matchlock. They're fired with a fuse. So you can see the musketeers are carrying a fuse on them, and they've got to keep that lit. That's their means of ignition. Well, one of the gun crew has got a fuse on a linstock, on a piece of wood there, and that's for firing the cannon.
अभी तो पूछ रहा हूँ मैं ऊपर जाके वो ऑटो वाले लो भाई चलिए बंदूक चलिए
Now in battle, ladies and gentlemen, these matchlock muskets have got a very short range. 50 to 60 yards where you're aiming at a man and you're going to hit him. Musket balls, of course, will go a lot further than that, 200, 300 yards, but they lose velocity and wander very quickly. So if I was defending the castle, I wouldn't put musketeers here, I'd have them at the front of the castle to keep the gate clear, to cover the esplanade, although the esplanade wasn't there in the 17th century. Likewise, I'd have my small cannon there to discourage anybody trying to break into the castle. And I would use these pikemen in the gateway to stop anybody trying to storm in. Because in 1639, the year before the siege that we're talking about today, the castle was stormed in minutes. The Covenanters arrived in the early hours of the morning, put a petard or a big bomb on the gate, blew the gates in and just charged in. And when the garrison tumbled out of their beds, they were all taken prisoner, over and done with in minutes. Whereas in 1640, it took 6 months. The men finally giving up because they got scurvy through lack of fresh fruit and vegetables. And a few years later, in 1650, when the Scots are inside and the English New Model Army is outside, the castle was sieged for 3 months. The city was taken, the English had the city, but the Scots held out in the castle. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see how long it takes for the musketeers to load between shots. So with that very short range and this lengthy loading process, I would normally have them in many ranks so I can hopefully keep some firing all the time. Or I rely on the pikemen to protect me. You see my musketeers trying to keep their match, their fuse lit, blowing on it, just to keep it glowing, because it's that ignites the gunpowder in the pan that makes the gun go off. And they're very happy this afternoon because the rain has not arrived, so that's not put them out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Feel free to step forward, talk to the soldiers, have your picture taken. Thank you.
Right. Sorry. That's a report from way back there. Yeah. We can't think that that's about
Hello. You look like you've got an interesting question about me.